Uh, hi. I'm sitting here drinking an energy drink, and I figured, hey, I drink a lot of energy drinks. I have a lot to say about energy drinks. I've had an idea of making the ultimate drink tier list for quite some time, actually. So that's just what we're gonna do. So first off, start with Monster. Monster is the energy drink ever, if you will. It's fine. It's hard to really complain about Monster. Um, okay, I should probably tell you how I did this. So I'm gonna rank each of these energy drinks on essentially three vertices, right? Um, of taste, affordability, and variety. So Monster, I'm gonna be kind of lumping these drinks into certain like genres, just so I don't have to rank every single monster. So with Monster Original, I'm also gonna be counting Monster Reserve. That's kind of the new line they're doing. Um, so it's gonna be a C tier for me. Um, like I said, it's fine. When I think Monster, I think of like middle school, early high school, when I like really started. I thought it was the coolest thing, just because it really is just like, oh man, this edgy drink that I get to consume and rebel against my parents. When like the more I drink it as an adult now, I hate it. I can't stand it. Um, but like, yeah, it's still not the worst ever, so I can't rank it that low. Um, Monster Nitro, this one's weird. I had this once, and the only way I can describe it is imagine drinking a Monster, but someone took all the moisture out of it, but still was able to keep it as a liquid. It is the driest drink I have ever had in my life. I can't recommend it to anyone. Monster Low Carb. Fun fact, this is the very first energy drink I ever had. I remember going to some shady rundown gas station with my dad, and he gave me like $5. He's like, go get yourself something. I was like, I'm gonna be bad. And then I was like, I'm gonna get a Monster. But then apparently I didn't want to like get a full-on Monster because I didn't think I would be ready yet or something. Once again, it's fine. You can't really tell too much of a difference, honestly. I'm not quite sure why low carb Monster doesn't get like the same sort of like revamps and extra flavors that like the original or even like the zero sugar do. But speaking of the zero sugar, this one is also weird. um it's, I mean, a lot like Monster, it's going to be the same price, but there's almost more variety in the Ultra, um which I can really appreciate. You have things like pineapple and cucumber, like watermelon cucumber in the Paradise, which is like not something you can really get with the original Monster. So I feel like I'd have to almost rank it above the B tier. Now time for a little throwback. Back when I kind of really first started getting into energy drinks, so I first got a car or whatever. Um, Monster Mutant Super Soda was a big thing, and I remember drinking a ton of this, which which is also weird because after that like couple month period, this just dropped off the face of the earth, and I was almost convinced that like it was just some hallucination I had regarding energy drinks, but no, it is real, and it does taste very good. Um, at least from my memories of it, that could be also partially nostalgia. But I'm going to be ranking it at a B tier nonetheless. Monster Rehab, these is things like the lemonades and the teas. It's stellar. It's you got a nice handful of picks. But it's just always a really pleasant drink. Which is kind of almost against the idea that Monster's this hardcore thing when it's just like a nice tea, a nice lemonade, a nice watermelon. Uh, yeah, very cool. Monster Zero. This is a fairly new thing as far as I'm concerned. It's actually the one I got on my desk that kind of inspired me to do this video. But it kind of, if you just like look at the icon, it kind of looks like a normal can, but just a little off, which is kind of how I would describe this drink. It's Monster, but little different. I actually think I prefer it over the original just because the original can be so cloyingly sweet and it kind of just can make me kind of sick after a little bit. I can see myself sipping on this thing a lot longer. So that'll be a nice tier above. And then we got a few more on the Monster. Bear with me here. Monster Hydro. Now, these things are funny. I remember these have gone through so many different reiterations. It really seems like they can't figure out what they want to do with these. I remember when they were in the big plastic cans, and you still had to like snap the top off, and they just looked horrendous. And then I remember they did like more of like a taller screw cap thing. And that was like the cheapest they would ever were. I remember going to the gas station and picking up two huge bottles for like $4. That was great. And now they're kind of like found a little bit of a compromise that they're like slightly smaller screw ones, and they have more like these sportsy, like more workout themed like designs, and like it's still fine. They got in a couple new flavors as the time goes by, so it's dropping a couple flavors. But they are, I want to say, a bit cheaper than the usual. But it's just caffeinated Gatorade. Not as good as Gatorade. I think if you want a sports drinks, just get a Powerade or a Gatorade. Don't waste your time with that, but it still is a pleasant time. And then finally in the Monster line that I have, Monster Java, it's fine. It's perfectly whatever. It can really depend on the flavors you get, of course. If you're going with something standard like a mocha or vanilla, you're better off just getting literally any other coffee, but they do have a couple good ones. I really like the Irish cream. There's a Swiss chocolate that's really good. Yeah, you're getting exactly what you want. I mean, cold coffee in a can is just kind of a sad thing, I feel, but hey, it's whatever. Now on to my next big batch here. It's gonna be Mountain Dew. So first and foremost, got Kickstart. So Kickstart is kind of funny. It really feels like Mountain Dew can't decide whether or not they want to keep selling this or like get rid of it to make way for their like newer drink. So I see this everywhere, and it's always like dirt cheap. And it's gone up and down as the years gone by, but it's usually one of the cheaper drinks in the market. I have memories of going to the gas station and like getting 4 of these for like a couple bucks. It's but like so you get the cheapness factor, and the flavors are pretty your standard fruit juice and whatnot. It's just one of the drinks that you could probably feel a bit better about drinking if you're not a big energy drink person, and they kind of like market it as more of like a morning beverage, which I never do. Yeah, I think the availability of it is just kind of what really propels it, but it's still not enough to get more than a C tier. Speaking of the new energy drink, Mountain Dew has a Rise. Rise is pretty awesome, in all honesty. I really appreciate how it's like a kind of a compromise between the really high caffeine, high sugar energy drinks and the no sugar ones. You get just a little bit of sugar. Those are always my favorite kind of drinks, just a little bit of sugar. You have a ton of variety. Basically, every Mountain Dew flavor is in turn a Rise flavor, so you're never going to have a lack of things to pick out. So just a very solid B tier. Game Fuel. Now talk about some nostalgia. Oh man, this stuff is funny. I didn't really get a ton of experience with Game Fuel before they like really started going down and like production. I just can't find them anymore. But man, was it always a fun experience just to like open one of these, you know? How many times does like an energy drink have such unique packaging? It's just like, oh man, I can snap it open, but then I can also seal it shut so I can go back to my gaming and slur calling. So if anything, this is just a lot of fun. for the cool factor alone. So B tier. Mountain Dew Amp. This is one that I've had a lot of experience with. I don't see it nearly as much now. I don't know if it's like not becoming a thing anymore now that like Mountain Dew has its more dedicated energy drinks, but I understand Amp is kind of its own energy drink brand that I unfortunately do not have a lot of experience with. But the just original Mountain Dew flavor has always been a awesome one, and you can't go wrong with it. AT. Moving swiftly along. NOS. Now, this is one that I see everywhere, and I've had all the time, and I can firmly assure you that it is an S tier drink. NOS doesn't do anything particularly crazy or like out of the box, but if you want a simple, cheap drink that just tastes like a fruit juice and gets you nice and energized, NOS is the perfect one. They have a nice bit of variety, basically pretty much any fruit flavor. I know I bashed Kickstarter for doing that, but it works with NOS because it's more trying to like actually capture like the fruit juice flavor. So the original NOS is just kind of like more of a sugary caffeinated orange juice, and that's just what you need sometimes. And then also NOS has a 0 sugar, 0 calorie drink, which is garbage. All the way to the top, all the way to the bottom. Don't buy this. I had one can, I took one sip, and I said, nope, not doing it. It doesn't taste anything like the original. It's like, what if you took that same orange juice that was kind of like that was kind of the NOS central, you know? And then you just pumped every chemical known to man into it, and then just like put it through a dishwasher just to be safe. Just don't. On a slightly better note, let's go with Rockstar. Oh, Rockstar. I have so many weird memories with Rockstar. It's kind of like with Kickstarter, it's kind of one of those drinks that's just kind of everywhere that you're more than likely just to find in a vending machine on a college campus, if that's what you're looking for. That being said, it's not good, but it is dirt cheap, and that is its real appeal, I feel. So even though I want to rate it lower, by my metrics, it's going to be a C tier. Now, Venom, this is a fun one. If you know this one, you're either poor or from the Midwest, or you're both. This stuff prides itself on being like the cheapest thing you could ever possibly have. It's 99 cents. You just go in, it's $1, and for $1, it's pretty dang good. It's not gonna blow your socks off, but you're definitely not gonna complain. Zoa, this is a fun one. This is Dwayne The Rock Johnson's unique energy drink, and it's pretty okay. I worked at a grocery store when this first came out, so I was able just to get a first can on the snag before really anyone else was able to, and I can't complain. I honestly couldn't tell you what it really tasted like because it's been a while, but I don't really remember having a whole lot of issues with it. So good job, Mr. The Rock. Bang. This is one I'm sure all of you know, but man, I don't know. I'm just not that big into 0 sugar, 0 calorie things. I'm sure if you're more of like a workout guy, you'd be able to appreciate Bang a whole lot more. I remember being friends with a guy in high school who was related to someone who was like a distributor of Bang, so he was able just to show up with a new Bang flavor every single day to school. And that's one thing Bang does do really well, is just having a ton of flavors. You probably could just like have a new Bang every single day and barely run out. That being said, it's also one of the more spendier drinks out there, and I just don't care that much for the taste. But swiftly along, Bang Coffee, kind of in the same ballpark. I have a memory of drinking this when I was on my way back from a one-act festival trip, and I was like incredibly sleep deprived. It was okay. Probably a step above. Full Throttle, S tier. S tier. Alongside Nas, Full Throttle is what I like recommend people if they want to get into energy drinks. It's cheap, it energizes you, and it's probably the tastiest freaking thing that's on here. Um, that being said, there's not a ton of variety. There's like one whole other flavor that they advertise being the blue, which is kind of a step below if I were to rate it on here. But man, you probably don't even need the others to be perfectly honest. Um, I think Full Throttle and Amp actually share a lot of tastes similar to each other just because they both are more like citrusy, but Full Throttle just does it better. I'm sorry. In the same vein of Bang, Rain is another one. Monster's definitely not answer to Bang. It's I don't know, they kind of market themselves more as like a hardcore, heavy workout kind of folk. Um, I don't know, it's fine. They have a nice bit of variety, not to the same extent as Bang, but they have some fun flavors like a white gummy bear that I remember having and being fine. If you're into that sort of thing, I'm sure you appreciate this drink, but for me, it's a C tier. Ghost is one of the few like zero sugar, zero energy ones that I've had and like thoroughly enjoyed. They do a lot of like crossovers with like candy and stuff. I think the one I had was particularly a Sour Patch Kids one, and it was pretty dang good. B tier. All right, we're getting down the line. Um, Red Bull. What a decisive drink, man. Um, I started in a weird place where I despise Red Bull. I had more of it, and then I kind of liked it. But it was kind of more of a sometimes drink if I just like really needed the caffeine. And now I just like really like Red Bull, but I know I can't drink that much of it because of how expensive it is. Because yeah, you get half as much of like a can of Monster, but for double the price, which one could argue it's worth it in that case, just because it does really energize you, and there are some pretty dang good flavors. They have a winter edition they just recently put out, and it's the best one. So I'm gonna put it in a solid A. What? Wait, just one left. That is that fucking Piccolo? Yeah. So fun story about this one. There's Dragon Ball energy drinks. I mean, there's a lot of novelty energy drinks, but this one in particular, I remember I went to a Hot Topic when I was on vacation, and this particular drink was on clearance. It was buy one for $1, get two free. So they really wanted to get rid of it, and I brought it up to the cashier, and flipping aside their long black hair and their and tapping their black nail polish fingers on the desk, said to me, "Oh, you're buying the pickle juice, huh?" And by God, I was. As strange as everything surrounding this drink was, it was perfectly mediocre. It was kind of just Monster, but lower quality. It's a firm C tier. Well, that's all I got for you. If you disagreed with me, too bad. If there's some drinks I didn't put on here, it's because I haven't had them, or I don't know they exist. And if I haven't had them, then they probably don't matter. Anyways, see ya.